On News Hour tonight, 2 suspected bandits and cattle rustlers arrested in Zamfara by NSCDC. Another boat mishap in Niger State claims lives of man, wives and son. COVID-19 cases on the rise as NCDC calls for strict adherence to prevention protocols. And on the foreign scene, Save the Children confirms staff killed in Myanmar massacre. Hello and welcome to Trust TV News Hour. I am Ibrahim Yusuf. The news in full. 2 suspected bandits and cattle rustlers have been apprehended by the Nigeria Security and Civil Defense Corps (NSCDC) in Zamfara State Command while trying to run away from the state. The Public Relations Officer of NSCDC Zamfara State Command, Iko Uchi, who made this known while parading the suspects before journalists in Gusau, the Zamfara State capital, on behalf of the State Commandant. The report.
The security forces in Zamfara State have been working in collaboration to ensure they flush out bandits in the state. As a result, the Nigerian Security and Civil Defense Corps (NSCDC) has arrested 2 suspected bandits and cattle rustlers who were fleeing out of the state. The 2 suspected bandits are one Hussaini Altin, age 40, was arrested on the 27th of December as he was trying to escape to Taraba State, while Tuku Halilu, age 27, was arrested as he was also trying to escape to Niger State. Hussaini Altin was arrested along with his elder brother Abubakar Altin at the Zamfara State Mass Transit Park in Gusau, the state capital. The court said Hussaini Altin had confessed to the crime of banditry and kidnapping and Tukul Halilu on cattle rustling and banditry activities in Zamfara State. Hussaini Altin hailed from Agama Lafia village, Rijia district of Gusau, and Tukul Halilu from Gabaro village of Nahuche district of Bonguduluku government areas of the state.
That new road to Nahuche, they used to assemble there, perform their normal rituals, and then plan their attack. Say their gang leader is somebody called Magaji Kaura. That's their gang leader. He was arrested at Laland area when he was trying to run away to Niger State on the 26th of December 2021. Similarly, on the 27th of December 2021 too, one Hussaini Altini, about 40 years of age, a male, was also arrested by the men of the Nigerian Security and Civil Defense Corps, who have been trailing them for some time now. He was arrested at the Zamfara State Mass Transit Motor Park together with an aged mother and an elder brother, who is by name Abubakar Altini, 60 years of age.
The court said the 2 suspected bandits will be arraigned in court immediately after it concluded investigation. The state commander of the Corps, Akushe Spark, said the Corps will do all it could to complement the effort of the Zamfara State Governor Bello Mohammed in the fight against insecurity in the state.
While the Nigeria Security and Civil Defense Corps says it has lost 7 of its officers in the line of duty in Niger State in the last 1 year. The Niger State Commandant of the Corps, Haruna Zurmi, stated this while briefing newsmen on the command's stewardship in 2021. He said the command received 1,578 cases bordering on criminal breach of trust, burglary, theft, assault, land disputes, debt, among others, and also recovered over 56.987 million naira in the year under review, while the funds were returned to the rightful owners. Zurmi further explained that 1,428 out of the 1,578 cases were resolved, 15 cases prosecuted with 8 convictions, while 147 cases pending and civil cases preferred to the Peace and Conflict Management Unit for resolution. He called for community participation in the fight against crimes and social vices. A lecturer at the Department of Business Administration, Kaduna Polytechnic, Dan Asabe Umar, says persistence of insecurity and banditry has directly retarded economic activities in the region. The academic, who said this in an interview with Trust TV in Kaduna, calls for drastic action to end insecurity. The report.
According to Dan Asabe Umar, the economy of the North is shaken, but the insurgency and other security challenges have made economy even more vulnerable to shocks. He said lack of stable power supply has forced industries to fold up, contributing to the unemployment which worsens the security challenges bedeviling the region.
Well, you see, even before the advent of this insurgency, especially in the northwestern part of the country, and even before the Boko Haram in the northeastern part of the country, the northern economy as it is backward compared to all other parts of the country. Now, with the advent of the insurgency, both in terms of Boko Haram and then the kidnappers, the herdsmen, invasion of communities, dislodging communities, combined with this insecurity, it has further worsened the economic activities and the economic potentials of northern Nigeria. For instance, for about 3 to 4 years consecutively, this report, international report, that shows that northern Nigeria is the poverty capital of the world. Not of anywhere, of the world. Overtaking countries like India, Afghanistan, and the rest. You see, even war-ravaged countries like Iran, Iraq, like Afghanistan, like Syria, and like Libya, you know, all these countries have performed better in terms of poverty eradication than northern Nigeria, because I will not say Nigeria.
Dan Asabe noted that the way out is for the state governments in the north to take a cue from their southern counterparts and intervene by improving power supply that will allow cottage industry to bounce back to life, and also tackle insecurity by making available job opportunities for the teeming youth in the north.
Lack of electricity in Nigeria, power supply, has led to the dwindling and collapse of so many industries. The little industrial areas like Kano, like Kaduna, like Gusau, like Jos, where there are some elements of industrialization, where you see modern factories, now if you go there, all of them have folded up. The next area where the North have to perform maybe and contribute towards the alleviation and eradication of poverty is through agric. The northern Nigeria is having the largest land mass that up to have been utilized for agriculture. Now insurgency, Boko Haram, Fulani herdsmen, kidnappers, other insurgents have now made it impossible to utilize this land. So you can see that the insecurity as it is has worsened the situation of the economic activities and economic potentials of northern Nigeria. Because all along, the economy of northern Nigeria has not developed to an extent that you can say is no longer relying on the traditional method of production and distribution. The way out is for the state governments, either on their own or through federal government intervention, to find a way of improving the power supply electricity. Once you have electricity, I always say any opportunity, any forum, I always say if there's electricity supply, adequate electricity supply, so many cottage industries in the villages will come up.
Cases of abduction and attacks by gunmen occur in some northern states on almost a daily basis.
Mwari youth and the former Speaker of the House of Representatives, Yakubu Dogara, are on a collision course over a letter written to the Inspector General of Police by the former Speaker on strong security threat in the community of Ogoro local government area of Bauchi State. The youth made the statement while addressing journalists at a press briefing in Bauchi. Trust TV's Adam Imam completes the story.
The leader of the youth, Isua Samaila, has refuted the action of the former Speaker Dogara representing Ogoro, the Tafawa Balewa Federal Constituency, which they say the claims in the letter was untrue.
If there are support from Dogara, we thought it's a welcome development because the honor is for the entire Sayawa, not only for Babangoto alone.
Bad history akan wannan bawon Allah
That is why we all agreed not to allow our relationship to be destroyed with our local government, the state, and up to the federal level. Our Baba is a peace builder. We need unity. We need peace.
One of the youth group, while responding to some questions whether they informed the security in the state for the proposed event to honor one of their grandfather, late Peter Babogonto, he further explained.
If there was a letter to him, and we have a letter as a chief secretary of Bogoro local government, it should be Honorable Ilya Habila Lydia, of which they have sat down with the inspector of police, they have sat down with the commissioner of police, they have even sat down with the DPO of the local government about this issue, and it was being granted. That is why we are here. Anybody that comes with the rumor that this will not even hold, the chief security has given us a guarantee, and even in Dogara, I know his aim is to see that the thing was being conveyed in a very good way.
They also maintain that there are peace-loving youth in the area. Moreover, they will go ahead with their planned event despite all odds. They, however, lamented that Yakubu Dogara, as a prominent son of the area, should support them instead of opposing Mwari people in Bogoro Area Council. Adam Imam, Trust TV News, Bauchi.
Meanwhile, Bauchi State Governor Bala Muhammad has denied allegations on plans to foment trouble in the country in connivance with a serving and former governor in the Northwest region. He stated this after inaugurating a committee on implementation of the report on land use dispute between farmers and herders in Zadawa community, Miso local government area of the state. Adam Imam completes the story.
The governor, after inaugurating the committee, he told journalists that he was disturbed to read on pages of national dailies that some governors in the north were trying to cause trouble in the country. He disassociated himself from that kind of action, noting that his antecedent as a civil servant, a senator, and a minister does not show this kind of action.
This insinuation and political innuendos, to me, is an act of mischief and treachery, because there was nothing like that. And of course, people are just doing it to create strife and division and rancor within the country. And of course, if somebody would use this particular moment when we have a fragile peace in the country to create this kind of impression and perception, is very unfortunate. Our elites should be very careful, because they have been doing it to me as a person. A lot of mischief, treachery, but they have never succeeded. I am a federalist, as I said. I believe in the federal government.
He also said that they are working very hard to make sure that the country and the northern part is safe.
As a legislator, I have always voiced my opinion. Even at the parliament, I rose and advocated for the doctrine of necessity for somebody from the southern part to ascend to the throne to the rulership of this country. I will be the last person that will instigate or cause strife or division or protest in the country. And of course, I know some of my colleagues have gone to court, but to me, because my name was not directly mentioned other than the insinuation, I felt I should just make an explanation and advise our security agencies not to leave such people who plunder this kind of stories. They should go to the root of it. And I said, even though I have immunity, I'm ready to subject myself to investigation on this matter, because I believe those culprits should be brought to book, trying to use political situation for their own political gains.
The governor did not mention his alleged accusers, but he pointed out that the security has a lot to do to investigate the matter. Adam Imam, Trust TV News, Bauchi.
Now, a professor of educational psychology, Muhammad Mai-Enchi, is asking the Zamfara state government to reopen schools at the local government headquarters and Gusau metropolis to enable students resume learning and have quality education. He said the continuous shutting down of schools in the state will mean breeding insecurity that would hamper a brighter future for the youth and Zamfara state in general. Professor Mai-Enchi made the call while speaking exclusively to Trust TV News in Gusau, the Zamfara state capital, over the 3-month closure of schools due to the activities of bandits. The report.
Quality education is one of the prerequisites of any national development, as it will empower the citizen to contribute their quota to economic growth. It is against this background that Professor Muhammad Mayanchi is expressing concern over the continued closure of schools as a result of the security challenges bedeviling Zamfara State. He wants the state government to reopen the public and private schools at the local government headquarters and Gusau, the state capital, so that students can resume learning, especially the final year students who are supposed to be preparing for their West African Examination Council (WAEC) and National Examination Council (NECO).
Period of time. Long closure of schools is a breeding ground of insecurity. So the problem we have in Zamfara is that the SS3 students for now have only 3 months to write WAEC. What are they going to write? They cannot write anything. And while we are pleading with state government to please open the schools, FCET Model Primary School and Secondary School is open. Command Police College in Gusau is opened. Federal Girls College Gusau is open. So at least the blue areas should be open. That is the schools in local government headquarters where there is no trouble. So that we have something at hand instead of having nothing. Let them open the schools.
Professor Mayanchi believed the continued closures of schools in the state will entail breeding future insecurity which the state and the country at large cannot address. This explains why the state government needs to consider the option of lifting the closures of the schools and putting in place security measures to protect the students and staff.
For the future, that we are not only to remain where we are in terms of education ladder of the country, we are going to be backward. Nobody in this country, elite like me, that is not aware of our own stand in terms of Western education in the northern Nigeria. We are all aware of what is happening. So I want to be a step backward to that. Not only that, those of us who are in the state will not see rest because the poor, the children of the people are not educated. So we cannot see peace. Even at local government and state, we cannot see peace as long as these children are not trained. They don't have what to eat. People are having problems of this insecurity in Zamfara State. We know the government is trying. I'm not blaming government for anything. We are pleading to them to please come to rescue by talking. Nobody is saying anything in Zamfara State. The Commissioner of Education should come out and talk to us. SA Education should come to us. We don't expect the governor to talk to. The governor is one person. There are many problems there. He needs some people to prompt him. He needs some people to advise him. He needs some people to inform him what is happening. Maybe he doesn't know that it meant 4 months for the children to write WAEC, and they're still at home.
It will be recalled that since the adoption of 279 students from the Government Girls Science Secondary School, Jangebe, on 26 February, and that of Bakura College of Agriculture and Animal Science on 15 August by suspected bandits, both schools have remained closed.
At least 7 persons have reportedly lost their lives in a boat mishap in Zigiri village, Shiroro local government area of Niger State. The spokesman for the coalition of Shiroro Association, Salis Sabo, confirmed the incident, noting that the incident happened when the villagers were traveling to Naweto, a neighboring village in the hinterland, for a naming ceremony on Sunday. According to reports, those killed include a husband identified as Mu'azu Babangida, 2 of his wives, and his eldest son. Sabo attributed the construction of the Zungeru Dam as a challenge for the people to travel between the 2 villages, adding that the corpse of one of the victims is yet to be recovered from the water since Sunday, and called on the Hydropower Producing Areas Development Commission to, as a matter of urgency, provide safety measures. You're watching News Hour on Trust TV. Coming up after the break. Spinal cord injury victim speaks out. This and more after the break. Stay with us. The board and management of Media Trust Limited invites the general public to its annual Daily Trust Dialogue, themed 2023, The Politics, Economy and Insecurity. Date, 20th January 2022. Location, NAF Conference Center and Suites, Abuja. Time, 10 a.m. prompt. Chairman of the occasion, former Head of State General Abdulsalami Abubakar, GCFR. Guest Speaker, Governor of Kaduna State Malam Nasir Ahmed El-Rufai. Guest Speaker, Governor of Ebonyi State Engineer David Umahi. Guest Speaker, former Chairman Federal Inland Revenue Service Mrs. Ifueko Omoigui Okauru. Moderator, Executive Director, Daria Media Nigeria Limited, Kadariya Ahmed. The event will be transmitted live on Trust TV, and all participants must observe COVID-19 protocols and wear their face masks.
Get latest updates on current topical issues and breaking news by downloading the Trust TV mobile app on your Android devices. Go online, click Google Play Store, search Trust TV, install the app, and get doses of unfiltered information on happenings all over the world in your pocket. Trust TV, documenting the Nigerian story.
Welcome back. If you're just joining us, this is still News Hour on Trust TV. Now let's take a look at some of our top stories. Two suspected bandits and cattle rustlers have been apprehended by the Nigeria Security and Civil Defense Corps NSCDC, Zamfara State Command, while trying to run away from the state. And at least 7 persons have reportedly lost their lives in a boat mishap in Zigiri village, Shiroro local government area of Niger State. And in other stories, Nigeria on Monday recorded 2 additional deaths and 859 fresh cases across 13 states of the Federation and the Federal Capital Territory, Abuja. The Nigeria Center for Disease Control, NCDC, stated this in an update shared on its Facebook page on Tuesday morning. According to the center, the new cases have increased Nigeria's infection toll to 238,420, while the fatality toll now stands at 3,024. The latest data shows that Lagos State, the epicenter of the disease, reported more than half of the new infections, with 555 cases as of Sunday. The number of active cases have increased to 21,989 as a result of the surge in infections, while the latest data shows a total of 212,770 people have been successfully treated and discharged in the country. Meanwhile, the recent increase in figures of new infections of COVID-19 is generating keen reactions from Nigerians. According to data gathered across the country by the Nigeria Center for Disease Control, Nigeria has now confirmed a total of 238,420 cases since it reported its first case in February 2020. Of the cases confirmed, 212,770 people who initially tested positive have been discharged, and 3,024 deaths have been recorded in all 36 states and the FCT. However, some residents of Abuja expressed divergent opinions on the figures released by the NCDC.
What I can say is I don't believe in the numbers. I believe there's COVID-19 in Nigeria because I know 1 or 2 persons with COVID, but the numbers I'm not convinced. I don't believe COVID-19 in Nigeria. I mean, they keep calling numbers every day. Even I listen to the news and even on radio, but I don't believe. Yes, I don't believe because there's no evidence showing that, okay, actually, we've not seen pictures from the hospital or the centers, we've not seen videos or nothing. So I feel there should be evidence actually backing up everything they're saying. There should be pictures or videos showing that really that people will go.
I think what is responsible, majorly we are not obeying or following the COVID-19 protocols. Understand? Okay, look at me myself. To be sincere, I have to be frank. I'm not wearing my mask. I just came out from my house. I'm going somewhere. I didn't put on my. So at least I'm prone to contact COVID-19 or whatever. I think government should be proactive in enforcing compliance to COVID protocols. I think that's the major thing we need to do.
Well, I know the health workers, they are trying their best to make sure that they reduce the number of figures that we are having. But to the best of my knowledge, many people are not complying with the COVID-19 protocol. for you to hear my voice now, that's why I dropped my face mask now. If you look at the number of people going around, they are not complying with that protocol of using the face mask. Number two, some people, for the fear of unknown about what they are hearing, either in their religious setting, is what is keeping them fear of collecting the dose. I mean the vaccine. Like my humble self now, when they came to our area, we collected the dose and we are coming out for the second phase of it by January now. And another thing that I noticed is that many people doesn't know where to go and get that vaccine. It has not reached to the grassroots.
I don't really know what to say because I don't know how to say it because I've not had coronavirus. I've not done any vaccination on it. So I don't know. First of all, we don't even know if there's coronavirus. Well, let me believe that there is, but I don't know. I've not seen anyone so far from it, any of my family members or anybody close to me. So I don't know what to really say about it.
Lots of people are now coming for the test. You know, NCDC has a stand in the hospital where and it's free. You come, you do your testing. That's why we are getting more people that are positive. If you look at the statistics, at a time like 3 months ago, you know, you will see at times less than 100 in a day. These are not just mere figures. These are not mere figures because we in the hospital know and see what is happening and we know it's real, that this is not just deja vu, that they're just quoting figures. Telling you now, I know a number of my staff that have tested positive. I know a lot of people I know that have tested positive. In fact, I made a mail to the DG of NCDC. We even need the rapid testing kits in our emergencies so that ab initio will test you to see if you are positive or you're negative. That will give us, protect both the staff and the patient himself or herself.
Now, Dr. Doris John is an epidemiologist and works for the Federal Capital Territory. She's currently self-isolating and joins us to share her experience. You're welcome to News Hour.
Thank you very much. Good evening, viewers.
All right. So the first question is, with the seriousness that the medical line is actually taking the coronavirus pandemic, you would actually think that there are steps that are taken or measures that are taken by medical practitioners to actually guard themselves against being exposed and infected by this virus. So is that currently the case as it is?
That's very correct. It is expected that everyone, not just the medical personnel, would.
So we seem to be experiencing some technical difficulties with our guest there. We also have Dr. Sadiya Gumi, who is a UK-based medical practitioner, and she joins us to discuss the recent spike that we've just discussed on the COVID-19 pandemic. So you're welcome to the program.
Thank you very much.
All right. So on Tuesday, Nigeria recorded 859 new cases of COVID. And this is at a time when only 3.8 million of the over 200 million population is actually vaccinated. So what are your thoughts on how we can be able to control this spread of the virus as it is right now?
Right. I think this is quite a difficult question because I think, you know, even though it's a global problem, but I think there's not a right or wrong answer to what I'm going to say. So even though it is a global problem, but I think each continent or each country has to look at their peculiar problems and try to deal with it. So I know, you know, we know all the hand washing.
Hello, can you hear me?
Oh, okay. I don't know if you can hear me. Should I continue or your other guest is there?
All right, we seem to be experiencing some technical difficulties there, but we will return to that story as soon as the issue is rectified. Now, moving on to other stories, many people are suffering in silence and dying as a result of spinal cord injuries sustained either from road crashes or domestic accidents. Now, on record, Katsina State has over 1,000 people who are living with spinal cord injuries across the 34 local government areas of the state. So Abdullahi Ahmadi visits one of such victims in Tambu village of Daura local government area of Katsina State, who has the agony of living with a permanent disability. The report.
Yahya Haruna Tambun Daura is among hundreds of people seriously in pains, suffering from spinal cord injury sustained just recently. Trust Television visited Yahya Haruna, a 23-year-old, at Tambun Daura village, just 3 kilometers to Daura on Katsina Daura Road. Yahya Haruna, who was a tailor before the accident, completed Pilot Secondary School Daura with ambition of joining the military after his tertiary education. Narrating his ordeal to Trust Television, Yahya Haruna said, like any other survivor of spinal cord injury, he neither have control for urine nor his species. Yahya, who sustained spinal cord injury when he fell down from a Toyota van, has been taken to Orthopedic Hospital Dala Kanu and Air Force Reference Hospital Daura, but to no avail. He therefore appeals to government, corporate bodies, philanthropists, and other non-governmental organizations to come to his aid. I don't have anything to say because my parents are trying their best and I believe they have done their best. The only option for me is to leave everything in the hand of God, as there is nothing I can do. All I have, all what I get, and of course, all my ambition has been thwarted. Haruna Adamu is the father of Yahya, who said he has sold out all his landed properties and his farmlands with the hope of getting remedy for his son, but the situation is getting worse daily. He said he is now helpless, tired and exhausted, left with no option than to fold his arms and watch his son dying. However, Malam Haruna Adamu Tambun Daura appeals to well-meaning Nigerians to come to the aid of his son and save his life. As you can see, there's nothing I can do. I have done the best I could, and the boy has narrated everything to you. I think I left everything in the hands of God, like he said. And I look forward to well-meaning Nigerians to assist him to salvage his life. Similarly, the mother of Yahya Adamu said they supposed to go to Orthopedic Hospital Kanu on 22nd December but could not afford it due to financial problems. She said they are helpless and cannot even afford to meet some of his basic needs, such as pampers, catheter, hand gloves, as they have sold out all they have for the medication of her son. From what you can see in this house, we don't have anything in this house, and we are looking forward to other Nigerians to assist him. Even what to eat, we have to struggle hard to get what to eat on a daily basis. For us to meet our basic needs is something that has been very difficult for us. We are living in a village and we don't have anything, as we have sold out everything we have. In Katsina, Abdullahi Ismayamadi reporting for Trust Television News.
And now going back to our previous story on COVID-19, Dr. Sadia Gumi, as we announced earlier, is a UK-based medical practitioner, and she actually joins us right now to discuss the recent spike in COVID-19 infections. You're welcome to the program.
Thank you very much.
All right. So on Tuesday, Nigeria recorded 859 new cases of infections, COVID infections. And this is at a time when only 2.8 million of our over 200 million population is vaccinated. So how can we be able to curb the spread of this virus as it is right now?
Right. I think this is quite a very difficult question because even though COVID, as we know, is a global problem. But I think each country has to really look at, the problems they're having and try to deal with it. So if it's, in Nigeria, we need to look at what are the problems in Nigeria and why is it spreading. And as you know, we know the general, rules about washing hands, social distancing, wearing a face mask, and vaccination. So over here in the UK, they have seen that, almost a lot of people have been vaccinated. And in fact, people have their third vaccines. And places like in Israel, they're already talking about a fourth vaccine. So despite all these measures, the numbers are still increasing over here. So in Nigeria, we have our own peculiar problems. And if I speak to a lot of Nigerians, their main problem at the moment is not even COVID, it's problems with security, with, all sorts of things going on. So, we have to look at, this issue. Some people don't even believe COVID exists. And as you said, the vaccination uptake, there's vaccine hesitancy. And so where do we even start from? So it's really a difficult question. And I would say maybe the first thing is not to give up. Look at the immediate problems of what people continuous awareness campaign about, yes, COVID exists, this is what you need to do. And maybe looking at people that are vulnerable and try to see if you can get them to be vaccinated. So for instance, here in the UK, they're proposing to go door by door, people's houses and actually vaccinate them. So I think continuous awareness campaign and getting our vulnerable people to, get this vaccine. And I think just education and general improvement of our healthcare system. Because at the moment, just basic health is not even tackled adequately. So that is a key issue.
So basically, every country should try to find a solution that suits the particular environment. And also, especially in Nigeria with our own peculiar problems, and we should try to find ways around that. Well, yes. In the UK, where you are now, you just alluded to the fact that there's still rising cases. I mean, like, this is a worldwide thing. For example, we heard here that over 100 Premier League players are actually tested positive for COVID-19. So are you entertaining any fears that people will start believing that, or are saying right now that the vaccines that we actually have are not enough to vaccinate the population?
So do you mean in the UK or in Nigeria? Do you mean the vaccines that are in the UK or do you mean in Nigeria?
In circulation in the UK right now, that's what we're talking about.
Oh, right. So I think here we've done really well because, majority of people have had their booster vaccines, which is the third one. So definitely we've got the vaccines enough here. But obviously, some people are still not taking it. But majority of people that I know have taken the vaccine, at least either their second or having their booster vaccine. And we have seen an effect, because even though the numbers are increasing, they are not really falling very unwell and needing a lot of the, intensive care. And the rate at which people are dying is also reduced. And maybe that is attributed to the vaccine. That, a lot of people, even though they've been vaccinated, if they get the Omicron virus, it's not killing them like previously. So it's just a matter of trying to cover a wider population to get the vaccine, but the vaccine here should be available.
So to buttress on what you just, the points that you just raised right now, we've heard reports of people being fully vaccinated and then still being infected with the virus. So isn't this giving more ammunition to anti-vaxxers who actually believe the vaccine doesn't work?
Yes, to be honest, there's, a lot of conspiracy theories. Even here in the developed world, there's a lot of people that don't believe in the vaccine at all. And definitely, yes, there are some people that have been vaccinated and they get the virus. But when you look at it as a medical doctor, it's not, even if they have symptoms, some of them don't even come to hospital at all. They just stay at home and isolated. While in the last maybe 2 years at the beginning of the COVID, we had really serious cases, people being ventilated, people dying. So definitely there is some kind of improvement with having the vaccine. And yes, there would be anti-vaxxers everywhere. But my advice is, if there is a vaccine and we've seen an effect to it, then it's better to have it than to say, no, I don't believe in it and I'm not going to have it.
So it's better to be vaccinated than not to be vaccinated. Dr. Sadia Gumi joining us live from the UK. Thank you very much for those insights.
All right, then. Thank you for having me.
All right. Just like we started earlier, Dr. Doris John is also a medical practitioner. She's an epidemiologist and works for the FCT. She's currently in self-isolation and joins us to share her experience. You're welcome to News Hour.
Thank you very much for having me.
All right. So my question goes, coronavirus, COVID-19 is very serious and it's taken very seriously in the medical community. So one would think that there are actually measures taken by medical practitioners, you being in the front line of the war against COVID, that there are lots of steps being taken by medical practitioners to actually guard against being exposed and being infected by this virus. Yet, we have cases of medical practitioners actually getting infected by this virus as it is. So are there no measures being taken, or are the measures not effective?
I wouldn't say the measures are not effective. There are measures in place. And it's not just for medical practitioners. It is expected that everyone should observe first and foremost, the non-pharmaceutical interventions and measures like wearing of the face mask, the hand washing, physical distancing, and and wearing of face masks, physical distancing, and hand washing. And everyone is expected to observe that, including the health practitioners. It's just that the healthcare workers are at a higher risk because they are in contact with patients that are ill, some that might be carrying the virus and are not showing any symptoms. Well, you can never be too careful with this virus. I can assure you, I really have searched myself over and over again at what point I let down my guard as far as observing these preventive measures are concerned, and I couldn't come up with one. So, but I'm not saying it didn't happen. It might have happened somewhere, somehow, but I cannot right now put my finger on it and say this is it. So there are measures in place, and every facility, everyone is expected to observe the infection prevention and control measures of around you, keeping your surroundings clean, wearing whatever protective equipment you need to wear as a health care practitioner, which every health worker is expected to observe.
So Dr. Doris John there, joining us live from self-isolation to give us a few preventive tips on how to be able to protect against COVID-19. Thank you very much for coming up on the program.
Thank you for having me.
And of course, we wish her a speedy recovery. Well, you're watching Trust TV News, and this is News Hour. The news continues after this break. Stay with us. The board and management of Media Trust Limited invites the general public to its annual Daily Trust Dialogue, themed 2023, The Politics, Economy and Insecurity. Date, 20th January 2022. Location, NAF Conference Center and Suites, Abuja. Time, 10 a.m. prompt. Chairman of the occasion, former Head of State, General Abdulsalami Abubakar, GCFR. Guest Speaker, Governor of Kaduna State, Malan Nasir Ahmed El-Rufai. Guest Speaker, Governor of Ebonyi State, Engineer David Umahi. Guest Speaker, former Chairman, Federal Inland Revenue Service, Mrs. Ifueko Omoigui Okauru. Moderator, Executive Director, Daria Media Nigeria Limited, Kadaria Ahmed. The event will be transmitted live on Trust TV, and all participants must observe COVID-19 protocols and wear their face masks.
Get latest updates on current topical issues and breaking news by downloading the Trust TV mobile app on your Android devices. Go online, click Google Play Store, search Trust TV, install the app, and get doses of unfiltered information on happenings all over the world in your pocket. Trust TV, documenting the Nigerian story.
Welcome back. If you're just joining us, this is News Hour on Trust TV. Now, former President Olusegun Obasanjo says oil found in the Niger Delta region belongs to Nigeria constitutionally. He made a clarification while reacting to allegations raised by Niger Delta elder Edwin Clark in an open letter. The former president, in a 6-page letter, noted that his comments on the issue at a forum convened by the Global Peace Foundation and Vision Africa in Abuja were misconstrued. The elder statesman noted that the constitution did not confer ownership of oil and other mineral resources to any of the regions, explaining that just as the Niger Delta's oil belonged to Nigerian Federation, the minerals in other parts of the countries also belong to Nigeria. Clark had on Wednesday slammed Obasanjo over what he called a disappointing display of hatred against the people of the oil-producing states. So right now in the studio, I'm being joined by Salihu Mahmoud Dantata, who is a public affairs analyst, and he joins us to discuss President Olusegun Obasanjo's letter to Chief Edwin Clark. You're welcome to News Hour.
Very pleasant evening to you, our erudite anchorman.
Thank you very much, Sal. So let's jump straight into it. President Obasanjo has written a lot of letters over the years of things on issues that he feels he needs to comment on, and he was the same President Obasanjo that actually said, or he found a political solution to grant oil-producing states proceeds from oil that was explored from their own areas, sometimes 200 nautical miles offshore. And the same Obasanjo is now saying that the oil does not belong to the Niger Delta, and when he was in power, he actually made provisions for them to get something out of it. So what is your take on this, actually?
Well, just the way the former military head of state and democratically elected president for 2 terms, Olusegun Obasanjo, affirmed.
Yes.
I think taking from patriotic angle, he is right. Taking from tribalism, it is wrong.
Okay.
And when you look at this country, rather than people putting selflessness and patriotism first before individual interests, they don't do that, which is wrong. And I am very happy the way he told the First Republic Information Minister, Chief Edwin Clark, who rather than fighting for enlightenment of his people to know that agreed that these resources have been found in the creeks where the Niger Delta falls, but it now belongs to every Nigerian. And the reasons why this erudite elder statesperson like Obasanjo is saying this is not far-fetched. Before the recovery of oil, the granite pyramid in Kano, the cocoa in the southwest, as well as the coal from the southeastern part of the country were used as external proceeds for Nigeria as revenue generation drive. So should we say that people from the entire north, people from southeast as well as southwest whose cocoa, coal and granite pyramid were used should also start agitating for the rights and the royalty to be paid, since they were used to develop some of the infrastructure they even have in Niger Delta and other parts of the country. So I think President Olusegun Obasanjo, the former president, spoke from informed background as someone who has come and conquered. Don't forget the fact that this was a man that led the Marine Command after General Adekunle. He succeeded by bringing back this country. So if we are talking of patriotism, living as one, anything that can move Nigeria forward, Obasanjo is always supportive of that. And that was why he told Edwin Clark that he should rather, behave like a statesman and not tribesman.
Exactly.
Which is right, because today, the NNPC we are having was established in 1977. The President Muhammad Buhari was Commissioner for Petroleum. So if Obasanjo was someone that hated that region, as at that time, the concept of NNPC and other subsidiaries wouldn't have arose in the first place. So let us always reflect back and not go by just some self-centered interests we want to achieve. So somebody of his caliber needs to say what is right, when and how, going by current developments in this country. The Niger Delta, you are seeing, they are having the best among every geopolitical zone in this country, and I will name them here. We have Amnesty Office that Yaradua created for them. We also have Niger Delta Development Commission, and also the highest subvention go to states like Bayelsa, Akwa Ibom, and others. What else is expected to be done to them other than this? So I think they should be grateful, and elder statesmen like Edwin Clark, who was First Republic Information Minister, who is reputable, who is highly respected, need to educate, enlighten, sensitize, and also teach people of Niger Delta. We all have friends from there, and their opinions differ from that of our elder statesman Edwin Clark. So I believe they should not see Obasanjo as an antagonist or somebody trying to create division, but rather wants to withhold the unity, the oneness, as well as propagation of true Nigerian in us than sectional Nigerians. Okay, so true federalism being absolutely being promoted, oneness, and also putting national interests above self-centered interests. Because if you go by First Republic, Second Republic, they all failed because people refuse to put national interest above self-centered interest. And today where we are, it is these singular reasons that made us to be stagnant in terms of development, where even some people can call Nigeria the most underdeveloped country, third world country, when we are supposed to be competing with our mates like Singapore, Malaysia, and other second world countries. All right, so thank you very much for those insights, Salihu Mahmoud and Tata, giving us his insights there on the letter sent by President Olusegun Obasanjo to Chief Edwin Clark. So, visits to the next cash and carry by Minister of State, Federal Capital Territory, Ramatu Aliyu, confirms that no looting happened at the supermarket. Eyewitnesses told the minister, saying the videos in the social media were misleading. Some of them say they were on ground at the next cash and carry superstore and claim no looting occurred during the fire incidents.
To help them secure what can be secured, and you can see it safe out there. This is commendable. Let's keep up this spirit. It is not in our character to continue to loot, and this is telling you that there is hope for Nigeria. I will there up with each other, and like there 4 of us when they are up. Nobody of us they hold this thing. There only 2 where they hold the water. Other people they sign what they have from outside. I said nobody. If they test they look anything, they don't look anything. Some things where they look yesterday, they say there are some goods where the time where the fire start, where they can't move. So but I already what I got test. Some people say no, some people say what I see people they drink malt anyhow because of the way you see where malt yakpa now, you can enjoy yourself as they want. Everybody they drink them as you see them, they turn them because it does a woof. That one only what I see where where people they take anyhow.
Now a look at the international scene. Save the Children has confirmed that 2 of his staff were killed in a Christmas Eve massacre. Now let's join Aisha Haruna for more news on the international scene.
UK-based organization Save the Children has confirmed that 2 of its staff were killed in a Christmas Eve massacre blamed on the military that left more than 30 people dead on a highway in eastern Myanmar. Anti-military fighters say they found more than 30 burned bodies, including women and children, on a highway in Kaya State, where pro-democracy rebels have been fighting the military. The organization on Tuesday accused the military of carrying out the massacre. Myanmar has been in turmoil since the military overthrew elected government of Nobel laureate Aung San Suu Kyi in February, claiming fraud in an election her party won. More than 1,300 people have been killed in a crackdown by security forces. Somalia's allies and international observers have expressed alarm over the escalating power struggle between the country's president and prime minister as heavily armed factions patrolled parts of the capital, Mogadishu. Soldiers loyal to Prime Minister Mohamed Hussein Roble on Tuesday took up positions near the presidential palace, while others paraded the streets. On Monday, President Mohamed Abdullahi Mohamed had announced the suspension of Robles' powers for suspected corruption, a move the Prime Minister described as a coup attempt.
And that wraps up Trust TV News Hour for this evening. Don't forget to subscribe and follow us across all our social media platforms. I am Ibrahim Yusuf. Thanks for joining us.
Get latest updates